and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer, and today is day 3 of Fixer Upper Willow Creek and number 2 of the builds. So here I'm actually starting on the outside, much like Chip and Joanna typically start with their customers, not consultants, customers, with letting them know what they're doing from the outside, and then they move in and around and up and all the fun things. With this one, I didn't do a layout change. I thought this one's layout was pretty great, and I feel like Chip and Joanna would think that as well. Sorry about the phone sound. That was my mom calling me. I did have a little bit of struggle for some reason with these columns. I'm not sure why, but hey, I didn't even expand this backyard situation much either. I worked with the house. I felt like on this house, Chip and Joanna would just be in love with the structure and say, let's stick with it. Let's work it with it. This is only a cosmetic update of sorts. I do move a couple doorways around, change doors, change colors, all those fun things. And I will say, if I don't say so myself, that's how I should have said it, the fall mod looks incredible with this house. Oh my goodness. I love fall. I've told you guys this before, and today is no exception. It's actually in the 60s today. I've got my window open. I'm super happy about it, and looking at this fall weather just makes me all warm and cozy on the inside. I actually ordered some clothes from Old Navy. One of the things was a vest, like a puffer vest, and it's like the millennial pink, if that's what you want to call it, but it's super soft and cozy and fluffy, and I put it on once it got here just to make sure it fit, even though I know my sizes pretty well from there. And it was just like being wrapped up in a blanket, and that's what I love about fall, is it feels like you're wrapped up in a blanket everywhere you go, and this house is just giving me those feels so much. It just feels like a hug of a house, you know, like the house giving you a hug. I'm rambling, I'm sorry. I'm very joyful about this house. I would love to live here. So when my husband and I were looking for houses, as if you guys wanted to know any more about that, we had a little bit of struggle deciding like what we wanted. So we knew from the beginning that we're going to end up with a ranch style house, and we both really like those. But there are a lot of beautiful character homes where we live, and a lot of them are Victorians or St. Anne, I think. St. Anne, and there's some cottages and some bungalows, craftsman bungalows, a couple arts and crafts style homes. It's just an older town, and I love those, and I love that about this town. I actually had a dream last night that I had to move back to Kentucky, and I was like, this is the worst, and I had to get like a waitress job, and you know, those things. There's nothing wrong with being a waitress. Goodness, I can't talk today. I actually switched to decaf coffee, and I feel like I'm not useful to the world anymore with decaf coffee in my system. But so what was I saying? Oh yeah, nightmare about going back to Kentucky. There's nothing wrong with Kentucky. Where I live is beautiful. We actually vacation, or not where I live, where I was from, I used to live, is a beautiful, beautiful area, and you know, we go back there all the time for vacation. I guess my mind has just finally made up that I don't want to move back though. Because we discussed that a lot. Like once we decided to buy a house, we were both where we could transfer easily back home, and we're like, well, we have this opportunity. Do we want to do this, or what are we going to do? And we ended up living like probably 10 miles from his parents and 10 or 15 miles from my parents. And my grandparents are about less than 20 miles away. My aunt and uncle are 4 blocks away. Another aunt and uncle are just the next town over. So, you know, we've kind of homesteaded, I feel like. So we're not going anywhere. That decision, I believe, has been made. I've never used these doors, and I really was excited about them when I downloaded them. These doors, however, I was like, I don't know if I'll use them, and I use them in almost every single build. Yeah. Because that's what happens. I ended up downloading a lot of CC that is, for somebody who's like more stylish than I am. Like, I love fashion, but right now I am wearing a long sleeve split side t-shirt from Old Navy and a pair of leggings and house slippers, And the only thing stylish about this is the split side, and I don't even like that about it because I feel like it's not warm. Like, it's got the nice long cover your butt thing, so when you're wearing leggings, people can't be like, you're showing your butt because you're wearing leggings. Even though I'm showing my butt when I wear jeans too because it's fabulous. That was the most ridiculous thing I feel like I've ever said. Like, that's so narcissistic of me. But you know, whatever. Anyways, so with this, with the Fixer Upper Willow Creek, I feel like Chip and Joanna are putting a lot of like little girl and little boys rooms in. Like, this is like, the one yesterday was, I feel like a kid's room and a parent's room, not a guest room, and then this is like a little boy's room and a little girl's room. I do put in 2 little girls' beds in the girls' room and just one in the boys'. And I do really like the way the little boys' room turned out. I would have loved to have black walls, and especially I end up putting in these shutters, which Chip and Joanna have put in cool shutters on the inside of the rooms, and they put in like overhangs, which I think was so brilliant. Super brilliant. Joanna, you're incredible. Anyways, I struggled with this bathroom a lot just because it's a square and I didn't have any room to remodel the square. So I had some troubles here. It took me forever to pick out a wallpaper to go here. And it took me forever to pick out the tiles, but I think more so the wallpaper. I was like, what do I do? And I eventually just go downstairs and do the layout of the downstairs bathroom. And then from the colors that I chose on like the countertops and the rest of the house, it finally hits me like, that's what Joanna would do. I think that's going to be the theme of this whole experiment, is that's what Joanna would do. I feel like instead of Simon Says, it's Joanna Says. Anywho, that was kind of childish, but I don't care. I did start trying to delete a lot of the me deleting furniture and things. I do every once in a while like leave in like a kitchen table or a like this entertainment center that Max has put into this house, just because if I like where something's at, I want to remember where it was placed originally, and I have a bit of a ridiculous memory where that stuff just doesn't stick. So yeah, apparently I decided here that Joanna went with a eggshell blue wood paint, like an antique blue on there, and that was what got the whole rest of the house going. Like, most of it I was thinking about the fall mod and how cute that was, and then here is where I actually like, here's my design, here's what I'm gonna do. I should probably sit down and go through some of the houses that Chip and Joanna have remodeled. And what am I doing here? Why was that? Oh, I was waiting for my game to open up the all items tab. That takes so long when you have as much CC as I do. If you have trouble like that with your game, just I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. If you have trouble with that, leave a comment about it. Let me know what you do. Do you guys like go get a cup of coffee while you're waiting for it to load? Because I feel like I actually edited some of that out. Like, there's a cut scene there, so I guess I missed some of it. I don't know how. The software that I use is called Filmora, and I think it's pretty great. And what I do to clip and edit my videos is I'll put in a freeze frame, and then I'll go through the track and see what all I want to cut out, and then I freeze frame again, and then I cut the piece that's in between those 2 freeze frames and then remove the freeze frames. So if you have a better way of using the Filmora software, let me know, just so you know if there's an easier way. I'd like that. And if there's a way also, if you guys could let me know on how to zoom in on stuff. I am getting progressively more blind as I get older, and I probably should be wearing my glasses, and I'm looking, oh, there they are. They're at the end of the desk where my nail polish is, because I decided to paint my nails 1,000 times over the last few days because I'm trying to get like cool Halloween nails going on, and I'm gonna be a cat for handing out candy because I'm a grown-up, so I don't go to parties anymore. Anyways, so I have to do like black point and then put tan on the side. So what I'm gonna do is like put tan down first and then, you know, draw in the little cat nail on my nails. But pro tip from not a pro, if you get a paintbrush that you don't care about, or like go to the dollar store or Walmart or wherever that you have, Tesco, and get a paintbrush for your nail polish. Those work way better than using like the stencils or anything like that, I feel like, because I have more control. And maybe it's because I'm used to a paintbrush. I feel better than using the nail polish wand. I don't know. I could probably, I just thought of this. I have black, like a nail polish marker. As long as the tan underneath is really dry, I might be able to just do that with that instead of having to ruin another one of my paintbrushes. Because I don't have cheap brushes, because I feel like the best way to get the absolute best result for your art is to have the best product. You know, and I'm not talking about like the most expensive, but I'm talking about the best quality, like trying stuff out, going and splurging on the expensive things, seeing if it's great, dealing with it if it's not, like giving it to somebody else who's an art enthusiast and be like, look what brush I got for you, and then them being like, oh thank you, when really you're like, I couldn't return this because I already painted with it. But yeah, I'm a bad person. Now I kind of hope my dad and my sister don't ever see this, because I've done that. They're the people I'd give paintbrushes to. Sorry guys. Anyways, off the subject of me giving crazy presents and nail polish and things like that, I will say this is a long video, like real long. It took me a while to decorate this. Like I cut this down to, I think at the screenshots, at 35 minutes. I took forever to decorate this house. I don't know what's up. I think I had like 2 hours of filming. So wow, that took me a long time. I cannot believe it took that long to decorate this one house, like, especially because I knew I was going to use those floors in the kitchen. I pulled up on Pinterest a bunch of pictures of fixer-upper stuff and was like, I need this, and I need this, and I need to do this. And then I found that flooring a long time ago and was just like, I will use you for something. You are destined for greatness. And it was. I love this floor. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's playful. I have some like black and white striped tile as well that I think I saw Christina El Musa, or I don't know what her last name is. Anyways, Christina from Christina from TLC Flip or Flop. I saw her use in a design, and I thought that was pretty incredible. I feel like interior design is my calling, and I just can't answer it because there's no growth whatsoever in that market in St. Louis. This is what I do. I'm super analytical about everything, and it has to be like a high ratio of success before I'll even consider it. And like my uncle, God bless his soul, I love him to death. He would hate that I said that because he's totally an atheist. But anyways, he told me to just go after my dreams because he's the uncle. He gets to say those things. And where my dad, who is an artist and like makes money off of artwork, was like, don't do it. It's not worth it. You can't make a lot of money. Look at me. Don't. And so my uncle was like, you're so good at this. You should go to college and do this. Don't worry about the statistics. And he works network security for a credit card company. His whole job is about statistics and analyzing things and doing things the smart way, So it's kind of, I think it's because he's like me, because he's over analytical. He's super artistic as well. Like he's incredibly talented at everything. Him and his youngest daughter, my favorite little cousin, she is super duper smart and like Duke University was scouting her when she was 6. She's so cool. But like, so she is really good at art as well. She draws and he draws, and they can do great things with editing software. Like I had a Galaxy Note 4 and my cousin broke her phone, and I was like, it's okay. Use this extra one because I just bought a new one. And she's like, really? You're so nice. Thank you so much. And that has a stylus on it. And within like 30 minutes, she had drawn stuff on that phone that I never thought of. Like I used that function to take notes, to write grocery lists. And this kid is just like, nope, I'm going to draw a 300-page manga. And it's going to be beautiful and fabulous. And, all kinds of greatness. So And her dad's just like that too. Like, he was like, come over and check out this new software I downloaded for free, and look what I made. And it's like a clay modeling software, and you model it on, you model it on the computer. And he made a goblin head in like 10 minutes out of this thing, and I couldn't even figure out how to move the clay. Like, when I say I'm artistic, I think of them and I'm like, nah, I suck. I am real bad. And you know what? You should never do that to yourself. But when you are a family member to greatness, it's kind of hard sometimes. I really wanted that planter box to work out, but it wasn't going to. I'm going to use it in something else, though. I feel like that's something Joanna would do, would be like a couple of wooden planter boxes all over the place, and it, just make it look pretty cool. Those work. Those I feel like work really well. Like, I'm so glad I got those. But you know what? I think I download a lot of CC in the hopes that it would look like something from Fixer Upper or from Flipper Flop. Also, in the screenshots, I added like a fly-through, and I'm terrible at fly-throughs. If somebody could come teach me, that'd be great. Anyways, I had to delete out. I did such silly things. Like, I thought it looked really cool when I was doing the fly-through, and then I went to edit it, and I'm like, what is this? And like, there was a full like second of me staring at those little the little flowers in the vase mounted onto a picture frame on the wall. Yeah, I was gonna cut this part out where I struggle with this, but I was like, you know what? I'm showing folks that, I'm a real person, although you guys know that, but sometimes you show the struggle, sometimes you don't. On this one, I struggled. I wanted that to look right. I really did. And it just wasn't going to work for me. So I add in these. These are pretty awesome. I found these thanks to Pixel Playground. She's such a goddess. Thank you so much for enlightening me on some of the CC. This is so useful. Is that Peacemaker CC? I think that's Peacemaker. And even if it's not Peacemaker, thank you. Thank you so much for all of your incredible CC. My builds would look so crappy without it, because I refuse to use base game stuff, or not base game, but like in-game content most of the time. I did, however, the other night have my first successful CC that I made. If you take this wallpaper that you're seeing there, the base game version of it, and you take the minimal slats, I put those two together so that you would have minimal slats with base and crown molding, because I felt like it needed that. Like, it just translates better to have it have crown molding, because who's gonna stop putting in crown molding halfway through on just one wall? Like, why would you do that? It looks crazy. So that's what I did, because I feel like anytime, because I use that as shiplap. That's what I use the minimal slats for, and I just feel like the crown molding goes better with the shiplap. And all the pictures I've seen on Pinterest, it has, the crown molding. And we're actually putting shiplap in our guest bathroom, or I am. My husband does not want any part in that. He's like, it's a perfectly good bathroom. Why do you need all this extra? It's a guest bathroom. I was kind of like, look, I don't get to do anything crazy in the rest of the house. I'm going to put shiplap in our bathroom, or in our guest bathroom, so deal with it. Also, I'm sorry if you keep hearing my phone go off. It's my mom. They're going out of town this weekend. We actually gave them that as a present for my dad and my mom's birthdays, because they're close. So we were just like, hey, anywhere you want to go, use our timeshare, go have fun. And so they're going to Branson because they're super travelers like that. No. But you know what? They love it. They're going to go to, what is that place called? Eureka Springs, Arkansas as well at some point. And they're going to go to shows, and they're going to have a blast. So that's all that matters. But my mom and dad have 2 cats, and then a stray cat outside, and a stray pig. Yes, they adopted a stray pig. It just walked up into their yard one day, and now my mom feeds it. And so this weekend, while my dog is on antibiotics as well, and I have to give him 4 pills a day along with his food, make sure he eats it, make sure my female doesn't eat it because she's a glutton, I have to go over to their house and feed their pig, who I'm kind of afraid of, and their cats, one of the cats, so their cats are named Phoenix and Arizona. Those are the 2 inside cats. And then there's Meow Meow, or Nevada, their outside cat, Stray, who is so cute. We don't know. I think it's a boy. I think we figured that out the other day. But we think he was so skinny. Such a little baby when they first got him. And now he's fattening up. And we were actually worried he was pregnant because, we didn't know what it was. But it turned out that he was actually a male cat, clearly, because we looked it up. And my parents had just been feeding him so well that he got chunky. And you know what? That is the best case scenario, I think. To make a cat go from skin and bones and covered in fleas to healthy and so fat that you question if they're pregnant. And he's getting tons of exercise. And we were really worried that the pig was actually eating all of his food and the cat wasn't getting any food. And I had a lot of trouble right here. My game just decided that it hated me, so I had to, I saved. Yeah, I had to save. So that's a fix for that. If your CC is just fighting you, just do that. Hit save, and it'll all work out. And it's always better to hit save anyways. We all learned that from The Sims 3, didn't we? Oh, listen, I love The Sims 3. I loved all the expansion packs. It was wonderful. But for the game to just randomly die on me was the most heartbreaking, crushing thing. And I feel like I was a better builder in The Sims 3, and I would have these incredible things that I worked so hard on, these huge mansions and with several different levels and all kinds of crazy stairs and just real good Sim stuff. And then it would crash and die. And I think I got away from that. I started to do a lot more of simple, small, undecorated stuff because I felt like the more decorations, the more likely it was for your game to crash. So I just stopped doing that. Can I just say that I love this room? It's so sweet and so cute. I feel it doesn't feel like it's super decorated and tons of stuff is going on. 2 little girls living in it, I feel like this is the best amount of minimal I could get, and it really, I feel worked out well. I like it. I like this. I think it's just sweet and dreamy, and it reminds me of little princesses or little ballerinas. And then over here in the cool boys room, could you imagine being a 10-year-old boy and having this bedroom? Your friends would be like, you're the coolest guy ever. Look at this stuff. But you know what? Stuff doesn't make you cool, kids. It doesn't. It's being nice to people. Life lessons from the Angry Simmer. The things I learned because I was a mean kid. I feel so bad. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but in high school, I was in color guard, and the way that stuff worked in my color guard, nice IKEA lamps for the little 10-year-old boy. Anyways, so the way this stuff worked in my color guard is that until everyone got it right, you had to keep going and you had to keep doing stuff. And so one day we were doing push-ups, and we were probably at 150 or more push-ups at this point, and I was getting tired, and we were still only halfway through the day. It was an 8-hour practice, and we had to spin and run and do workouts and stuff with the band, and I was getting done. I was getting tired of doing push-ups, and it was all because one of the girls, instead of going into a proper form, she was in a V. Her butt was in the air, her back was in a straight line up to her, or in a I'd say 80-degree angle up to her butt. Knees were not bending at all, just straight legged. Arms were kind of bending, and she was the reason that we had to keep doing push-ups. And instead of going over there and correcting her form, my instructors were just having us continue. So I got mad, and I stood up, and they were about to yell at me when I stood up because they thought I was going to be like, hey, I'm done with this. I'm not doing any more push-ups, but I would never do that. So I looked them straight in the eye, and then I walked back to this girl. I put my foot on her butt, and I shoved her pelvis into the ground and said, do them right. Bend your knees. I was so mad because I was so tired, and I went back and I continued to do push-ups, and I did enough to cover the amount of time that I wasn't doing push-ups. And eventually she looked around, took a second and looked at everybody else's form and was like, oh, I have to be down here, and managed to scrape out the 25 that we were supposed to do as a punishment for something else that we had done. So, I was not a nice kid. I'll say that now. And anytime we do, if you know anything about color guard, there's stuff called drop spins and double time and things like that. And we had to do left and rights. And so we do 10 on one hand, 10 on the other. Then we do 20. And 20 and 30 and 30 and back and forth until we did like 100 on each arm. And if somebody dropped, we had to start over. And the same girl would always do that. And it would just make me so mad. And eventually, like the next year, she didn't do color guard. She went back to just doing band. And I felt bad about it that next year because she was still like super sweet to everybody. And we were just kind of catty and we're like, don't ever come back. How did you make it onto the team? Why are you here? Go away. But her parents were like big time donators to the cause. So we probably should have been a lot nicer to her because, you know, she's probably the reason I got to go to Disney World with the band. Looking back. Wow. I feel like such a bad person. So don't be like me, kids. Also, Peacemaker, can you make me 2 small ones of that? If you're listening, Peacemaker, please. Please give me 2 tiny little sections for this room. For this particular house, because I need it. I know you only do CC for you, but at some point I'm sure you'll need like a half of a square, right? Please help. I love you. I'm so weird. Anyways, I'm running out of stuff to talk about, guys. I just recorded the video before this, or at least it's the voiceover, and I'm kind of cold, and you know, I'm thinking about having to feed Pig. That's the pig's name, by the way, is Pig. If you want a pig and you don't intend on making it bacon, because Pig's not a bacon pig for some reason. I don't know how a pig cannot be pig. But anyways, if you want one, leave it in the comments so that you can come pick up this pig, because my parents are trying to adopt him out. They do not have like the means or the land to take care of a pig, and they don't like that he just roams around. Oh, there's my cat going crazy. She's got the zoomies. Anyways, they live in a small neighborhood, and they're afraid that somebody will shoot the pig and kill it. So just, you know, let me know if you want a pig. He's a potbelly pig. He is enormous. He's a black pig. He's cute. He goes, yeah, he makes that exact sound. He's awesome. We all love Pig, but he needs a farm. And he needs a farm where he can be, you know, Babe and not Bacon Pig. You know, my husband always likes to tell me that Babe was eventually eaten, or like Charlotte's Web, like the pig got eaten, because I loved those so much when I was a kid. And he's like, you've got to deal with the reality, honey, that those pigs are there to be eaten. Like, people don't just keep farm animals to keep farm animals. They have purposes. Like, sheep are for wool and meat, and cows are for meat and for grazing, and horses are for transportation and work. And I'm like, no, love the animals, hug them, help the horsies. I did not make that the right color, I don't think. Oh yeah, I did. Yay, me. I'm so glad. Continuity. Continuity is the name of the game, other than Joanna says. Sorry. I crack myself up sometimes because, you know, who else is going to laugh at me except the world? But they're not, you know, laughing at my jokes. They're laughing at me in my face. Yeah, I am so goofy today, and I've been drinking decaf coffee. Like, I don't understand where this energy is coming from. I've actually had to like stop and cut some of my voiceover on these 2 videos because I've been yawning, and now I want to yawn. That I said yawning. Sorry guys, you know, that's what happens when you say yawn 5 times. I really wish that would fit there, but I don't think the Sims could make it through the door. I do like where I eventually place this because it's not here either. I'm like, oh look, the other end where there's no doors to get in the way. They can have storage, built-ins, yay! Which every house should have. Like, if you're gonna have upstairs and you're gonna have that much room at the end, put in some storage. Like, come on. Those are also Peacemaker, by the way, because he's incredible and super talented, and I love everything that you make, Peacemaker. You're my hero. I do wish that I could figure out a bench to put there, but you know what? I feel like the storage makes sense like that, and if we had a small, like, under the window storage piece to connect those, that'd be awesome. But you know what? I'm not that greedy. I don't need you to make me that, Peacemaker. Listen to me acting like Peacemaker's listening to my videos, please. He is too busy saving the world. I feel like Peacemaker is like a superhero. He's like, I don't know, Captain Industry or something. I'm his biggest fan. I'm idolizing him. No, but I am a big fan. Also, for some reason, I don't like doing this sort of computer area destination, even though like this is completely plausible. People would do this. It just feels like The Sims couldn't move around there. And I did play test it. Like, it works just fine. Chip Gaines went upstairs and played Bill Block and Sims Forever. So, which I don't know if I mentioned on that first video, but they don't have a TV in their house. So what does Chip do with all of that energy? Like, what does he do? He's so energetic and so silly and playful. Like, how has Joanna not killed Chip yet? That's what I need to know. Like, I love Chip, but thinking about the fact that he doesn't have a TV to go like be a blob in front of and watch the game makes me kind of like, what else does he do? Like, I know they have a farm and they're super busy and they have the business and the kids, and I guess that's what he does. Also, for some reason, I love that rock. I love the decorating the landscaping that I did around it. And again, fall mod, making all your plants beautiful. Look at that. Look at all that goodness. Moving the trash to the side to put in more beautiful landscaping. Yeah. I will say I like the fall or the plants way better like that, because I'm imagining half that stuff is just a mum, and mums are my favorite flowers. They scream fall to me and they make me so happy. I feel like those plants look like they're growing out of the other one, and it's not what I intended. What is with that glitch, by the way? Like when you're holding shift and you're trying to place it close to something and it just like jumps up to that level. Yeah. What is that? Why, Maxis? Could you fix that, please? That is a horrible glitch, and it seems like you're never going to. But we are coming to the end here, I think. I wish I could. So with the voice record part, I can't just click over onto my shrink to fit thing. At least I don't think I can. Let me see. Nope, I can't. Did you hear that sound? Let me know if you heard that sound in the comments. Really, I'm just asking for comments at this point. But ooh, I forgot that I put this in. I thought this was such a cute idea to have like a little dining area over there by the rock, because I was not moving that rock. I loved it too much. And this little like lights, I feel like those lights are so romantic. I think Delinquency calls them fairy lights. I just call them outdoor lights because I'm not that exciting. You know, that bench would have looked really cute there. I should have like put it along. I'm pointing to the screen. You guys can't see this, but like those two tile bricks on the side of the door, it needed something there other than this plant that I put. Yep, I put that there. Although I love the fact that the fall mod does that as well. Like, how cool is that? Way to go, fall modder. I need to put that in the description of this one. I think I'm going to. I'll put that in the I'll link that for you, because it has my heart, and I'll probably keep playing with the fall mod for days on end. But it looks like we're going to a screenshot. So like if you like, and hit subscribe and enjoy. Thanks guys. Bye.